Hey, it's day 25. I want to say I'm so proud of you. You are my kind of person, okay? You're a doer, you're an action taker, you committed, you decided to take this challenge. You've done all this work for 24 days. We're on day 25 right now. Amazing stuff. And today we're going to talk about third-party integrations. We're going to set up our WebinarNinja account to make sure it talks nice and friendly with our other tools. Any kind of email marketing software that you have, your CRM software, whether it's Infusionsoft, ConvertKit, whatever it is, we want to make sure that it's integrated with WebinarNinja. That way that all our data gets moved over to our CRM so that we can have that management easily done over there, okay? So we're gonna do this and I'm gonna show you how to do that. We have tutorials for all our integrations at help.webinarninja.com. Okay, we'll put that in the SOP for today as well. So we want to make sure that I guide you through where to go to do that, and then you can use those tutorials at help.webinarninja.com for each integration. We'll talk about your CRM integrations, but we'll also talk about Zapier if you ever want to do any kind of Zaps, what's that all about, and we'll jump into the account and we'll explain. Okay, let's jump in. All right, we're inside our WebinarNinja account. Let's go to integrations. If I go to the left menu, I'm going to scroll down to that puzzle piece that's right there and click integrations. This is where we integrate WebinarNinja with other apps. So if you're going to be running a paid automated webinar for any reason in the future, this is where you would integrate Stripe with your Stripe account in the paid webinar section. But we're going to move on to third-party apps right here. Okay, here I'm going to integrate with all my apps. You will see that it starts with Zapier here. You have a Zapier app account here that we'll talk about how to integrate with that later, and we'll put that in the SOP. We'll put a tutorial for this in the SOP. But down below, you'll see that we integrate with all the major CRM softwares out there. Any way you manage your email, whether it's MailChimp or Aweber or ConvertKit or HubSpot or ActiveCampaign or Infusionsoft or Drip or Constant Contact, we got you covered, okay? What this does is that anytime somebody registers for your webinar, it passes that name and email address to your CRM. So for example, if I want to tag somebody that has registered for a webinar, I can do that in ActiveCampaign or Infusionsoft. I want to add them to a list, I can do that as well. MailChimp uses lists, and you can do that where you can say, hey, anytime someone registers for my webinar, add them to this list. They've attended my automated webinar. Go ahead and do that. Now, I want to show you two interesting things about our integrations with CRMs. Number one, this is where you're going to set it up generally. Like, I want, as a general rule, as by default, to send anybody who's registered to my CRM to this list or this tag. Okay, so for example, if I go to ActiveCampaign here, these are my settings in ActiveCampaign. I have all these tags, and I want to tag them with these tags every time they actually register for a webinar. Now, that's by default for all my webinars, okay? Now, if I want to, for example, for specific webinars, I want to tag them in a certain way, or I want to send it to a certain list, I can just go to my webinars, okay? And then at my webinars, I'm going to choose the webinar I want to actually have specific rules for. So this is my automated webinar, okay? And I'm going to go to options, and then here I'm going to go to email integrations. I'm going to click that, and it tells me all the ones I'm connected to, the ones that are active. Right now I'm connected to these two, so I'm going to use ActiveCampaign. If I hit the gear icon, now I can actually choose a tag specific for this webinar only, email integration settings for this webinar, okay? That way I can actually filter people who are going through my automated webinars versus my live webinars. Very, very cool, okay? Nice and easy, and again, we'll put all the tutorials in the SOP. Now, also we have the Zapier integrations. Let's go to Zapier, go to integrations to Zapier. And this is very simple. Zapier will integrate with over 1,000 apps. So if for any reason you're using one of the CRMs that are not listed here, you can use Zapier. And we have a tutorial, we'll put in the SOP, how to link up WebinarNinja with Zapier. So anytime somebody registers, it goes to your actual account, whatever app that is. You can even like say, hey, Zapier, anytime somebody registers, add them to this Google Sheet. That simple, okay? We pass that information and we hook up with Zapier, so that way we cover over 1,000 apps. And again, instructions will be in the SOP. Very, very simple. We want to make sure that you're not missing out on leads and that your leads are connected to your whole CRM system. And this is why we encourage you to make sure you do this. This is your homework for today. Okay. First of all, if any of these integrations, any of these CRMs are yours, connect with them. It's very simple. You can just connect and sign right into your account right here inside of Webinar Ninja. And then from there, make sure you choose the list or tag specific to that webinar you like. You can either go with the default, like I just showed you right here through here, going through default, or say, hey, specifically, I'm going to go to that webinar and I'm going to choose email integrations and just go ahead and choose the list or tag that works best for that webinar specifically. I want to say, hey, for all my automated webinars, I want to send them to that list versus all my webinars, which is where I set up here. Okay, so just to reiterate, I know this is, just want to make sure it's clear. Just to reiterate, if I'm going through my webinars and then I go to email integrations, okay, so I'm going to go again to my webinars. If I'm choosing this option, okay, I'm choosing it specifically for just this webinar. This is kind of like the exception to the default rule to make sure it overrides, hey, for this webinar, no, send them to this list or tag them this way. Very simple. That's your homework. Make sure you hook up your CRM. If it's not listed, use Zapier. You can have a Zapier account for free. It will cover your needs because it will do a certain amount of zaps and it's enough for your needs here at Webinar Ninja. That's all you got to do for homework today. Hook up with your CRM. Make sure you're passing those leads into your email provider, your email marketing provider. All right, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow, day 26. Thank you so much for trucking along, for working hard, for making this happen, and seeing this through to day 30. I'll see you tomorrow.